Welcome back to another deep dive into the fascinating world of United States numismatics. If you have ever wondered whether your old 1956 Lincoln cent could fund your next big coin purchase, or if you want to know what a coin in circulated fine condition actually fetches when the hammer drops at a modern auction house, you are in the right place. Grab a cup of coffee, pull out your coin magnifying glass, and let's examine everything you need to know about tracking down, identifying, and cashing in on the 1956 1-cent coin. To understand why people get excited about 1956 pennies, we first have to travel back in time. The year 1956 was a booming era in American history. Dwight D. Eisenhower was in the White House, rock and roll was beginning to shake up the cultural landscape, and the United States Mint facilities were operating at absolute maximum capacity to keep up with the nation's commercial demand for small change. During this mid-century period, the United States Mint produced the iconic Lincoln wheat cent featuring the classic design crafted by Victor David Brenner. On the obverse, you have the timeless, dignified portrait of the 16th President of the United States, Abraham Lincoln, facing right, accompanied by the word Liberty to the left and the motto, In God We Trust, floating just above the date 1956. Flip the coin over to the reverse side, and you are greeted by the legendary twin stalks of wheat framing the denomination, 1 cent, and the national motto, E Pluribus Unum. This design, which ran from 1909 all the way until 1958, is universally beloved by generations of numismatists. When talking about the 1956 1-cent coin, production was split primarily across two major facilities, the Philadelphia Mint, which struck coins without any mint mark, and the Denver Mint, which stamped the famous D mint mark. There were also proof coins struck in Philadelphia for collectors, but today our primary goal is looking at the circulation strikes, the ones pulled straight from commerce, pocket change, old piggy banks, and coffee cans. Let's look at the sheer numbers because mintage plays a massive role in how scarcity dictates value. In 1956, the Philadelphia Mint produced 420,745,000 pennies without a mint mark. Meanwhile, the Denver Mint blew past that figure, cranking out a staggering 1,098,201,100 coins bearing the D mint mark. With over 1.5 billion combined regular business strikes entering circulation between those two facilities alone, you might think it is impossible for any standard 1956 cent to be rare. And statistically speaking, you are right. Common, heavily worn specimens are so abundant that millions still sit in bank vaults and dealer bulk bins nationwide. However, scarcity is a relative concept in coin collecting, and it shifts dramatically when we talk about specific grades, conditional rarity, and mint mark varieties. This brings us straight to the core question: what is a 1956 1-cent coin worth in circulated fine condition in today's auction market? To answer this accurately, we have to look closely at coin grading standards, specifically the Sheldon scale used by professional grading services like PCGS and NGC. The grading scale runs from 1 to 70, where 1 represents a heavily worn coin that is barely recognizable, and 70 represents a flawless, mathematically perfect specimen. Fine condition usually falls into the F12 to F15 range. What does a 1956 penny in fine condition actually look like under a magnifying glass? A coin graded as fine will show moderate to considerable even wear across the highest points of the design. On the obverse, Abraham Lincoln's cheekbone, jawline, and hair lines will show noticeable flattening, and the hair details above his ear will be partially blended together, though the main outline of his profile remains crisp and bold. The lettering of Liberty and the date 1956 will be entirely legible, with clear separation between the individual letters and numbers, even if the crisp inner corners are softened. On the reverse side, the individual lines and kernels on the wheat stalks will show significant wear, with the central lines across the wheat grains smoothed flat, though the general shape of the wheat ears and the lettering of 1 cent remain completely distinct and readable. In the current coin market and live auction environments, a standard 1956 or 1956 D wheat penny in circulated fine condition carries a modest collector value. For a typical, raw, ungraded 1956 or 1956 D penny sitting in fine condition, market pricing generally ranges from about 35 cents to 40 cents, though local coin shops or bulk buyers might trade them slightly cheaper depending on supply. Wait, before you put your coins away thinking they are only worth pocket change, you need to understand why professional auction markets tell a much more thrilling story for specific variations. While a standard circulation strike 1956 penny in fine condition trades for pennies, the market completely explodes when you encounter rare mint mark varieties, significant striking errors, or high-grade uncirculated specimens. Let's look at the varieties. One of the most sought-after discoveries for the Denver issue is the famous D over horizontal D, or repunched mint mark varieties. During 1956, mint workers punched the D mint mark onto the working dies by hand using a small steel punch. This process was prone to human error, resulting in punches that slipped, doubled, or landed slightly askew. When you find a 1956 D penny featuring a clear repunched mint mark, where you can see the shadow, split serifs, or a secondary D punched beneath or over the primary mint mark, the value shifts dramatically. Even in lower circulated grades like fine or very fine, a verified 1956 D repunched mint mark variety can easily command anywhere from $8 to $12, and pristine uncirculated certified versions have pushed past hundreds of dollars in specialized error auctions. Beyond repunched mint marks, collectors also search vigilantly for die varieties, such as double die obverse, DDO, or double die reverse, DDR, errors. A double die occurs when the hub strikes the coin die multiple times with a slight shift, transferring a doubled image onto the die itself, which is then stamped onto thousands of pennies. On a 1956 cent, a true double die will show clear, rounded doubling on the lettering of Liberty, the date, 1956, or the motto, In God We Trust. Finding a verified double die error in circulated condition can turn a 40-cent coin into a treasure worth $15 to over $100 depending on the strength and prominence of the doubling. Another thrilling category that drives collectors wild at major auction houses like Heritage Auctions and Stack's Bowers is the off-metal or double denomination error. While extremely rare, errors occur when a cent blank planchet is struck by dies intended for another denomination, or vice versa. Though rare for 1956, planchet and strike errors have driven auction realizations well past $1,500 to $2,000 for certified extreme error specimens. Now, what if your search leads you past circulated fine condition coins and into the realm of mint state uncirculated specimens? This is where the 1956 penny transforms from a modest collector's piece into a heavyweight investment vehicle. If a 1956 or 1956 D penny escaped circulation entirely, sitting in bank rolls or custom collections for decades, it retains its original blazing mint luster. Coin grading services categorize uncirculated copper coins based on their retained color designation, brown, BN, red-brown, RB, and full red, RD. Because copper naturally oxidizes and turns brown over time, finding a 1956 penny that has maintained its brilliant, original coppery red mint brilliance is exceptionally difficult. A 1956 Philadelphia or Denver cent graded in lower mint state tiers, like MS60 to MS63, might only be worth a few dollars, but as you climb the grading ladder toward pristine gem conditions, the price curve goes vertical. Consider the auction history for top-tier 1956 pennies. A 1956 Lincoln cent graded in breathtaking MS67 plus red condition by PCGS sold at a major specialized auction for an astonishing $57,600. Even regular high-grade MS67 specimens routinely command hundreds to thousands of dollars depending on eye appeal and certification by top-tier grading services like PCGS or NGC. While your average pocket find coin in fine condition won't hit those multi-thousand-dollar marks, knowing the difference between a common coin and a high-value conditional rarity ensures you never accidentally spend or dismiss a numismatic gem. How should you inspect your own collection of 1956 pennies to maximize your chances of finding a valuable piece? Follow a systematic, professional approach. First, gather the right tools. Do not handle valuable old coins with your bare fingers, as the natural oils from your skin can react with the copper surface and cause permanent toning spots or corrosion over time. Always hold coins by their edges, preferably wearing clean cotton or microfiber numismatic gloves. Get yourself a good quality desk lamp with natural spectrum lighting and a jeweler's loupe with at least 5x to 10x magnification. Second, sort your 1956 pennies by their mint marks. Look closely at the obverse side just below the date, 1956. If there is no letter present, it was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. If you see a small d, it came from Denver. Separate them into piles. Third, examine the mint mark area and lettering under your loupe for any signs of anomalies. Are the letters unusually thick? Do you see a shadow, a split serif, or a secondary impression that suggests a repunched mint mark? Check the date and the word Liberty for any signs of doubling. Fourth, evaluate the condition accurately. Be honest with your assessment. If the coin has heavy scratches, environmental damage, verdigris, or deep wear where the details are flattened, it sits safely in the circulated good to fine category, valued around face value to about 40 cents. But if the coin has sharp, pristine details with minimal contact marks and retains its original mint luster or vibrant red coloration, you might be holding something far more valuable. If you suspect you have found a rare variety, a striking error, or an exceptionally well-preserved uncirculated specimen, your next step should be considering professional third-party grading. Submitting a coin to services like PCGS or NGC provides authentication, professional verification of the grade, and a protective tamper-evident holder known as a slab. Keep in mind that grading fees and shipping costs apply, so it is generally only financially sensible to submit coins that have a projected market value well exceeding the cost of the grading service itself. For a standard 1956 penny in circulated fine condition, grading costs would far outweigh the market value of the coin, making it a piece best kept in a casual binder, album, or coin folder alongside other historic wheat cent collections. Building a complete set of Lincoln wheat cents from 1909 to 1958 remains one of the most rewarding, accessible, and historically rich hobbies in all of coin collecting. Every single coin carries a tangible piece of American history in your palm. Whether your 1956 1-cent coin is a humble circulated piece worth a fraction of a dollar or a hidden error variety waiting to be discovered, taking the time to inspect your change is an adventure filled with excitement and discovery. Check your jars, sort through your inherited coin collections, inspect those mint marks, and keep your eyes wide open. You never quite know what rare date or valuable variety is waiting to be uncovered in your next handful of vintage copper change.